So guys, according to this headline, it says Chad abandons Tinubu, closes border with Nigeria as Islamic terrorists plot to flee hideouts over fear of military action by Trump. So these people are really afraid. These people are really afraid. The question remains, why has the government been harboring them all this while? And this other person also said Chad has announced the immediate closure of its border with Nigeria, citing heightened security concerns. So guys, if this country is boiling, everybody's already going to be shutting its border. And this one says Chad closes border with Nigeria over security concerns, cites US military invasion report. So guys, Tinubu has been left alone because of the insecurity he failed to tackle. Now, many Nigerians have been reacting about Trump coming to Nigeria. I'm going to allow you to take a look at what people are saying in terms of resources. I mean, Trump coming to take resources. Some people are saying if it is the resources, Trump should just come and take it. That somebody even said if Trump rejects taking the resources, that he will force Trump to take it because they just want peace in this country, that these terrorists must be flushed out. Let me allow you to take a look at how Nigerians are reacting to Trump coming to take resources, or is he coming to end insecurity? Now take a look.
Some people they talk say if America come Nigeria come they fight, say they call for our mineral resources. Some still say anybody where the America have fight, now those people that they call the rule like Taliban's and all this ISIS. I want to tell you now something. I want to know. Nigeria no they fight any country. Syria they fight. You understand? Afghanistan they fight. Nigeria no they fight any country. And if America walk help us keep Boko Haram and all these idiots where no let us get peace. And they say now our mineral resources they won't carry. Maybe they can't carry because no get what we use that they do. We get mineral resources now never choose is money. We get mineral resources. 9 road no day for anywhere for the country. Light no day. We get mineral resources on the craze for it. No guesses. Americans, please come and collect the mineral resources. There's nothing we are using it for. Our government are just using it for their own benefit. Useless set of people. Useless set of idiots. Killing our people. Now the Nigerian military come as now every day and they post say they kill this thing, bandits. Every day now I call it kill them. Now every day now, since what they announce, I never see anything. Now leg hot.
But let's get started with the very first one. Reverend Laditon Thompson, who is a security consultant, joins us virtually. Reverend, thank you so much for coming on the program.
A pleasure is always mine.
You know, I've listened to you for a long time, and sometimes when these things are not happening, I remember some of the things you said, some of the warnings you gave, actually. But now it's coming home eventually. But I will start by asking you to give your interpretation of the multiple characterization of what is playing out. On one hand, according to the UN Genocide Convention, defining genocide as in terms of intent, not necessarily skill. The American government saying Christians are being killed. The government is not doing enough. The government is saying, yes, they are killed, but others are killed as well. We're not talking about the issue of sovereignty. There are so many issues. There are conspiracies around in between all of this. So let me just allow you give us your own interpretation of this multiple characterization, and we can zoom in into some of the nitty-gritty of the issues.
Thank you very much. My take is this. What makes us human? One of the things that makes us human beings and not beasts is the ability to think lucidly. If a nation has 200 and something million plus people, if for whatever reason as much as 200,000, 300,000 people are dying, 400,000 people are dying over a span of 15, 20 years of something that is not right, I would think that a right-thinking nation, its priority would be to diagnose properly and then stem the problem. There's something wrong with the way the Nigerian is thinking. And I believe that's what we need to correct, first of all. First of all, I want to say, whatever we're discussing right now, let's make it about the future, not the past. For 15 to 20 years, I spoke on this station that there's a global resurgence of religious extremism that's templated across the world. And it has a local expression in Nigeria. And I said to us that it's a hydra, if I remember very well. And I said to you that it has a religious cover. And I pointed out to us that its religious cover is exploitative because it had realized that in Nigeria's foundation, because of the divide and rule foundation that we have, religion was an issue. So it exploits that opportunity to create an enmity between classes. And I said for the first, like from the 1990s upwards, for the first 10, 15 years, it was consuming Christians. Not only consuming Christians, it was systematic. We're talking about the rape of young girls. We're talking about kidnappings. And we're talking about the fact that when we got involved, we found out that it's so clever that it was operating in a way it was difficult to detect. And I remember saying ahead that at a final stage, towards the end, it will begin to kill Muslims. And when I said that, I was as a special advisor to the CAN president then, they were surprised. And I said, no, we've studied the MO of this thing. And whether we like it or not, if you want to go theological, let's go hyper-dimensional. If you're a Christian, for instance, you will know that in Revelation 12, the Bible talks about the dragon with 7 heads and 10 horns. Now, one of these heads, the mountains, is religion. What you're up against is a dragon. And it uses not only religion, but education, but you name it. I'll give you a good example. In the years, I remember we had a meeting and a journalist in Lagos there picked up something we pointed out in a meeting, that a textbook contained classical conditioning of the minds of students and was an approved textbook in a Nigerian school. It had a character who used to kill people and offer them to convert to Islam or be executed. And the journalist went ahead and, printed it. And when he did, a sack letter was waiting for him. He was charged to court. The police, the judiciary, everything was lined up to take care of him. Now, this is an interesting thing. That manufacturing company printed a new version of the textbook, presented it in court, minus that story, forgetting there's a second-hand market because they removed all copies swiftly. So who does that? When we went to a second-hand market and presented old copies of the book, they threw the case out, and then there was a national furor, so they quickly retreated, and he got his job back. Now, what I'm going to ask you is this. What amount of intelligence does it take for you to see that there's something moving and working together behind the scenes? So we shouldn't be in denial. Let me just sum it up like this. Nigeria is a country that has multiple problems, like maybe a patient has Ebola virus, has HIV, and then has a virulent case of cancer. Shall we now say that because there are other life-threatening diseases, shall we now deny the cancer? So I don't want to say anything more than this, because there are two sets of people who have to be careful. When a soldier joins the army, he doesn't sign up to live. He signs to die, to defend his nation. When a pastor, a Christian, a minister becomes a pastor, he doesn't sign to live, he signs to become a living sacrifice, which means the nation should trust on them, at least the pastors, to speak truth to people of religion. So let's get away from this silliness, because anybody with an iota, I know that it uses media as a force expander. It's very confusing. It's not very easy, but through the years, we have broken this thing down and showed it for what it is. So it is actually wicked, asinine, for anybody in Nigeria who knows Leah Sharibu, who was taken at age 13 or 14, has been raped brutally, has 2 children somewhere in captivity. They don't care about it, whether she's in captivity or not. I'm surprised that the people who are in Nigeria who remember Deborah Samuel in Sokoto, who was killed. The students who killed her on religious basis were never tried. I want to remember Christiana Oluwashesi in Gombe, 2007, a teacher who was slaughtered by students. They went after her nursing baby towards the gate. Now, I can go on for a whole day, listing them. The young man who came from Britain to come and do his youth corps in Plateau State, they were shouting Allah Akbar when they slit his throat, and they had him call his parents to listen to his death throes. So what are we talking about here? Now, the challenge is this. This Hydra has a head in politics. It has a head in education, like I showed you. It has a head in media. It has a head in practically all things. Many nations have learned to deal with it, but Nigeria never got it right because of asymmetrical warfare, hybrid threats, and of course the use of media as a force expander. So the point now is this: because we refuse, or whether it's a lack of courage, whether it's cowardice, whether it's confusion for whatever it is, we have not really faced up to the truth. And that's where we are right now. So when a man like Donald Trump comes in and says, look, the bloodshed is copious. Now, I'm telling you why Nigeria has been silly. Over the years, there have been too many foreign observers who have come into the country who quietly have been watching the figures, collecting, collating. I remember this same confusion at the time we were looking for the FTO designation on the Boko Haram. The Boko Haram was so disguised. Some said, no, it's ethnic. Some said, no, it's this. Some said, no, it's that. I remember in 2012, there was a hearing on Nigeria in the US Congress. And you would not believe the asinine arguments that we heard there. Don't forget, in my desk, at that time, the American government, Secretary of State at that time, was funding the Boko Haram in Nigeria. So now, all of a sudden, there's a change of government in America. And there's somebody who's not going to cooperate with, look, on the global level, there's something called the pacification of terrorists with territories.
All right.
Now, that is what is going on.
All right.
But all of a sudden comes a president who says, no, we won't do that. So let's get out of denial and protect the future of our children. What should we do now is what we should be talking about. Not all this politicking, spreading money around, being silly with our future. And the same thing I spoke on just a minute. I spoke on this program some years ago when an Al Qaeda member was appointed a federal minister in Nigeria. And I remember I said it publicly because we are living sacrifices. Why is that happening in a nation? And why are we pretending?
Indeed, Reverend Thompson, we've listened to you over the years speak to these issues in what seems a clairvoyant manner, and it appears as if they're playing out right before us now. Speaking of which, let's understand how we got here in the first place. And I recall here Senator Ted Cruz's legislation before the U.S. Senate, which, by the way, has not gone through, but President Trump has exercised his executive powers to designate Nigeria a country of particular concern. The bill 82747, also known as the Nigeria Religious Freedom Accountability Act of 2025, seeks to compel the U.S. government to designate Nigeria a CPC, country of particular concern. And we understand that there have been hearings conducted on this particular bill, and representation of Nigeria was denied at that level. Help us understand who are those that you consider may have presented this legislation or presented petitions before the U.S. Congress? Because we understand that there are some Nigerians over the years who have appealed to the international community, to come to the rescue of Nigerians who were being killed. Does this have a Christian coloration, Reverend Thompson?
I think it has a coloration of what we call the defense of religious liberties. I'll give you a few more examples. Go and read the Nikitobi report. In the Nikitobi report, there was a recommendation that the Commissioner of Police was complicit when the churches were being burned, when Christians were being targeted in Plateau State. The recommendation from Nikitobi was that he was to be dismissed with ignominy. Instead, he was rewarded and became the Inspector General of Police in Nigeria. So what I'm trying to point out to you is that, look, let's not forget about America. Are we saying we don't value the life of our people? Are we saying that we're not aware that this thing had a religious cover? And I keep saying religious cover because it is a supremacist ideology. That I went to Ahmadu Bello University. And there are multiples of Muslims all over Nigeria who are not murderers. But because he still wears a religious disguise and nobody blows the cover of the disguise, instead, the government reinforces it. Let us look at the governorship of El Rufai. If we begin to quote what he said, the things he did, and we begin to look through the years, we don't need the American government to come and tell us that we have devalued human worth and you will never build a successful nation when you devalue human worth. So when it comes to the American government, there are processes that they have. But the question I want to ask you is this. If your daughter was picked up at age 12 and 29-year-old men were raping her continuously, and I've had to deal with many children like that. I've had to do trauma counsel for them. How do we talk to their parents? Are you sure these are the questions that we'll be asking? Let me tell you the truth. Bunker Samson, go and find out who that is. Rose Northcott, go and find out who that is. For the Gajeri's family, find out who those people are. They couldn't care less whether it was Donald Trump or Donald Hump. If somebody comes to finally tell Nigeria, you can't keep doing this, and I will tell you why it is pertinent. The Hydra, terrorism is a global affair. It's not local alone. So to protect their own interests, many countries of the world also, what the former administration was doing was to trade Nigeria off to the terrorists to keep their own territory safe. Now here comes the president who says, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to do this instead. And you have heard this also. It's also killing Muslims, which we predicted it will do in its latter phases. So for me, what Nigeria should be doing right now is not a matter of what Trump said was that if the Nigerian government does not protect its citizens, then there will be a consequence. Now, the question is it true that the value of the life of a citizen in Nigeria is of no value? Is it true that there's a predatory class that has no future for the average citizen in the country? Now, if this is true, why don't we address it by seeking cooperation, by setting up an ombudsman? Because you see, what is happening is this, the media is involved in this. And don't forget that Nigeria, there's money flying around. I've been in this for years. 30 pieces of silver. There's money flying around, and what happens is that instead of asking the right questions, instead of facing the matters at hand, money begins to change hand. Then you find that even religious leaders begin to speak from both sides of the mouth. Let us call a spade a spade. This is not working. Let us reformat this country. Let us look to the future of our children. Let us not wait for America. Look, whether it's the American president, whether it's the British Prime Minister, and all that is not the issue. Is blood spillage going on? Yes. Scorched earth policy? Yes. While I was dealing with Plateau State, go and ask the governor of Plateau State then, Jonah Jan, what his experience was. And at that time, we told them in Benue State, get ready, you are next. How come we say you are next, it gets to Benue? And after Benue, we said to them, Kwara, you are next. And after that, Southern Nigeria, get ready. Now, are we paying attention to these things, or are we still quibbling, allowing ourselves to be divided by people who have collected 30 pieces of silver, who will sell their children's future so that they can enjoy today? We can't afford that.
All right, Reverend.
So for me, the emphasis is not on the fact that for the Christian who's been slaughtered and who has been slaughtered through these years, and I should know, for them, whether it's Donald Trump, Donald Trump, or whoever it is, it's answered prayer. For Muslims who have conscience in this country, it's answered prayer. So we are not going to be blinded by political ambitions to the point where we will sell the future of our children.
All right, Reverend.
So my counsel is, yes.
Yes, just to comment, I'm sure Nasser will answer for himself in some of the things you've mentioned his name. I'm talking about Rufai, but that's not where I'm going to with this. I want to pick up the president's quotes. He said the characterization of Nigeria as religiously intolerant does not reflect our national unity. But we know the facts that are available to us. Donald Trump and his government and his Minister of War, as it is called, gave a precondition, saying, we will do the job if you refuse to do the job. When that is said to the president, also our nation, what drastic measure do you think they are talking about to first keep them off our shores, second, rebuild confidence in our people that lives of citizens, especially Christians and Muslims affected by this, is valued?
Now, this is where we know whether we have leaders who care for the life of the citizen or leaders who just want to hang on to power at all costs. A leader who cares about the life of the citizen, like I said, would probably first of all set up an ombudsman of some sort to clarify the issues, to bring forth statistics, which we will. If they dare, we will. We've seen the oppression and the suppression through the years. And if that president knows that this is not right, and if that president knows that there's no infiltration in high places as admitted by presidents before him, if that president is a serious-minded person, the focus should be protecting the lives of our people. Now, what is America talking about here? I think the allusions America is making is this. Excuse me. Let me talk about Leah Sharibu, for instance. Everybody in the world knows where she is with the children that she's been raped and she's rearing. Where the locations of terrorist camps are, everybody has been telling us for years, and we've been saying it, that there's complicity in high places. There's government complicity in this thing that's been going on. And I don't know how anybody will continue to live in denial when you know it will end up devouring this nation. So for me, I keep saying this. If America says, listen, remember the underpants bomber, the son of one of the wealthiest Nigerians, who took a suicide bomb and was going to explode it in America. I told you this is a global problem. And it is not all countries that will wait for us to destroy Nigeria. If Nigeria goes, West Africa will go. If West Africa goes, Africa is gone. What do you think will happen if all the resources of West Africa or Nigeria falls into the hands of this Hydra, which is a real Hydra? Why is our president not talking about that? Why is he not talking about that? Why is he not looking at the statistics and then saying, look, this is what we are going to do? So please, Mr. Trump, there's no need for you to come here. This and this and this and this is what Nigeria is going to do. We believe in the future of our children more than you can believe in the future of our children. And we have looked into what you have said. We're not going to be replying, with just hyperbole and just, talking politics with the lives of people. We're going to reply you factually and say you are right or you are wrong. And if you are right, we're going to say, okay, maybe this is the challenge. And I'm going to tell you what the real challenge is. The simple thing that is true is this. You are dealing with an intelligent Hydra that collapses nations from within. So the corridors of power. Look, why would America sit down and watch you if in your Nigerian army, every time you capture terrorists, you claim you have found a special elixir that changes them, and then you absorb them into the Nigerian army? Now, the people sitting down and watching that happen, is it that they are not thinking? Is it that they don't understand what the future is going to bring? So I keep saying something to us. The buck stops at the president's table, which is what I said when Muhammad Buhari was the president of this country. The buck stops at his president's table, and it's unfortunate, that statement he made, when he said that the genocide is a lie from the pits of hell. People like us, we will show him that it's not a lie. And the Sultan piped up and said something like that. With all due respect to the Sultan, the question I asked the Sultan was this. If we came and provided proof statistically all through the years of the killings, all the way from Rigasa 2000, and showed you pictures, I got tired. Look, I began to feel, I don't know whether it will affect you or not when you see the amount of blood spill. I've been in places where the bombs are still exploding. Go and ask my friend Musa Tula in Bauchi. You're having church services, an explosion, then a leg will land in the church. And because this thing is being done systematically, this church in the south will pick up 30 pieces of silver and then be talking in tongues on both sides of the mouth. What is going to happen to the children? So let's bring it back home here. Is it true? And if it is true, what are we doing? Forget about what America is doing. If it is true that our forests, let me even tell you the truth now, we are living sacrifices. I had a security meeting with the governors of the Southwest more than 10 years ago. At that security meeting, I remember furnishing proof where there were camps all in the forest. Did anybody go and clear the camps? No. Instead, we are talking. Excuse me, please.
Right.
Please. To be a human means we must function and think about the future of our children. Look, when people use terror clinically, people become cowards.
Important, Reverend, amid this conversation.
People become confused. So let us face the issue around, protect the future. Listen, Nigeria is a great country. I attended Ahmadu University. Northerners are kosher. Let us reformat the country properly. We have systemic problems. For you to get into politics, the Hydra knows how to play you.
All right. And that's right. But Reverend, let's also look at another aspect of the conversation, which is the international dimension to this. And I'm just going to ask simply, without any leads, what's in it for the United States? Can we say that genuinely they're so concerned about Christians, regardless of whether or not, the genocidal aspect to it is valid? What's in it for the United States?
Okay, let's talk about the war of narratives. Let me tell you what is not in it for the United States. For many years, the total annual budget of Nigeria, all put together, is usually the same at par with the budget of Hartsfield-Jackson Airport, or one of those airports in Atlanta. The total budget of Nigeria. Secondly, for every year, do you know how much the diaspora sends into this country? So, first of all, this war of narratives where people are saying, oh, America wants this from us, America wants that from us. Hello? Can we please wake up and smell the coffee? Let me tell you what is really going on. On the global stage, if you go and study Fukuyama, Francis Fukuyama, the last man standing, Henry Kissinger, Kaplan, and Huntington, everybody knows that a new day is coming in front. So the challenge right now is that many countries who have the strength are contributing to try and control the narrative of the new global order, of the new day that is coming. So all over the world, quietly, these forces are clashing all over the world. Now, when all the people did all their researches, they thought it was either going to be the Russian bear, or it was going to be the Chinese dragon, or it was going to be the sword of the Middle East, and all the contending factors. Africa was not. Look, Africa as usual is fast asleep. Nigeria is the giant of Africa. We are the ones who should be talking about the global future and the part of the African in the global future. Now, this is really what is going on. So, because those people are having these tussles out there, they are starting to control the narrative. Now, what they did not see coming was that one man will get to power in America and change the dynamics of power completely, who somehow would seize his presidency and use it in a way that has never been used before. Let me tell you what is going on that we don't realize. We're looking at the new future. We're looking at the tussle that determines the dynamics. Right now, Nigeria says we have a democratic republic, a shambolic democratic republic that has no checks and balances, that encourages corruption. Now, the people who have the original one are tweaking it already. The Chinese are tweaking it. Everybody's making their answer. What is our contribution? That is really what is going on. And I want to say to us, Nigeria needs to understand this. Our destiny is to rescue Africa. If we manage our diversity in Nigeria properly, we shut down this killing of Christians, killing of Muslims at the last hour and all that, and we create a proper nation. Our children, listen, people will leave America and come and live in Nigeria. People will leave Britain and come and live in Nigeria. We have everything that anybody can ever wish for. The only disaster is, right now, there's an age bracket, I think everybody 55 and above now are a national problem. Listen to them talk. The younger generation are not even allowed to have a life to live. How can there be a nation devoid of a future? What I'm asking myself is, sometimes I want to ask President Ahmed Tinubu, these days of artificial intelligence, these are days when the cutting edge of science and technology, 2 states in Nigeria can feed the entire country. We are still talking about desertification. when all over the world we have Nigerians in positions of authority in every field, whether it's robotics, nanotechnology, you name it, we've got it. Where is the central vision that will bring it all together?
Let me quickly take you through some of the reactions from Nigerians on the social media as regards to what is currently happening. So there is this heated debate between Sheikh Gumi and Barrister Darlington, and guess what? Barrister Darlington is not joking. He confronted Sheikh Gumi. Now let's see how Nigerians are reacting. This person said, Sheikh Ahmad Gumi, kidnapping children for school is less evil than going into a town and ransacking it. This one says kidnapping children from school is lesser evil because in the end you can negotiate, and now bandits are very careful about human lives. Before the mission of bandit was to go into towns, ransack it and kill people. By this I can say our preaching is working, and hopefully we are coming to an end of the banditry in Zamfara and other states. And this person went further to say that bandits are now careful about lives now and just want to do sensational attacks which would bring attention to themselves. Can you imagine? That's what Sheikh Gumi is saying. And this one here says killing of Christians. The US president and American military cannot defeat Boko Haram in Nigeria. The best solution is to negotiate with them. Sheikh Gumi calls for negotiation with Boko Haram, Islamic terrorists. I don't understand honestly. That America should come and negotiate with these people. Hey, people are saying President Trump is coming to Nigeria to pack our resources, but for those same resources, what have Nigerians benefited? Is it good roads, security, affordable food? Kidnapping is happening everywhere in the country, yet we gain nothing from our so-called resources. Man, blast those calling Trump to come to Nigeria. Man, blast those claiming Trump is coming to Nigeria to take resources. So Nigerians don't wake up. Oh, Baba. Now, this other person here is a popular northern media personality, Simon K. Blas, Asari Dokubo, FFK, Reno, and other Tinubu supporters for their threats and comments against the US President Trump and the American military regarding the killing of Christians in Nigeria. So guys, a whole lot is happening in this country, you know, a whole lot is happening here. Now, this person here says people reporting 100 to 150 people whom were massacred in Benue State, while my friend on ground said it was over 200. A woman woke up and the entire village was gone. Bola Tinubu has failed on his primary responsibility, which is to protect lives and properties. So Nigerians are now speaking up as regards to this. A whole lot is happening in this country, honestly. You know, a whole lot is happening here. Anyway, let me take you through the reactions. This guy is really shouting here and saying that for those condemning Donald Trump that is coming to take your resources, why not allow him to take and save Nigeria? Now, let's see how Nigerians are reacting to this. This person say, is that enough reason to want the death squad of US to come and turn Nigeria into another Libya and Sudan? ICC is ruling Syria today with US support. You think US cares for Nigeria people? Just another set of black people to them. Africa never learn. We don't want to learn when it comes to this, you know. This one say, looks like we need another colonization, because since 1960 we never see any development for this country. Nigerians kept shouting they want to steal our oil. Like we benefit anything from the oil. We are not benefiting anything. And this person say, which resources naive people? Everyone jittering about Trump coming to wipe out those committing the horrible crime is either a terrorist or is sponsoring It's either a terrorist sponsor, or terrorist sympathizer. This is what is anybody that is against Trump coming to help Nigerians is either their sympathizer or a terrorist sponsor, or even a terrorist himself. And this person say exactly, Trump can't pack what's already been looted, mismanaged, and exported by our own leaders. Maybe he just help us find where they hid it at all. You see, at this point, even our corruption has gone on vacation without us. Disgraced country. Omo, make US colonize Nigeria. It be like say Britain scam us. E be like say Britain scam us. So this person say this nonsense must stop. It's either we all say the truth, and fix this problem and kill the terrorists and stop the jihad, or let's all go to Trump's theater of war. Some people will survive, and it won't be the Islamic terrorists. It's enough. Enough's enough, I beg. People are tired. He actually made sense. We keep talking about resources as if they've ever worked for us. What's the use of wealth that doesn't reflect in the people? Oh my God. So these are Nigerians talking, you know. And this one say the pain, resources we know they see, where we know they see no benefit. They should come and pack. You see, this generation will make this country proud. Our parents fail, our grandparents fail, but I will not fail my kids. You can't go through school learning 8 to 12 courses and coming out being paid 100K a month, while those into fraud and closer to government gets the best. I mean, that's Nigeria for you. And this person here say, what some of those who are claiming that it's better for the years to come is even for the purpose of our resources is that the US will not just come and say, give me your resources. No. Even the small freedom you guys have to Twitter now will be no more. Trade carefully. Who told you that? Who told you that? This is my President Trump. Please be fast. Save Nigeria. Christmas. Save Nigeria. Christmas. And also, there is no secret genocide going on. There is secret genocide going on in southeast of Biafra. This person, now only politicians and other colleagues are pushing that the agenda of Trump coming to take our resources because it's about to block their sources of income. Anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you.